Hey, yo, check this out. We got a real great service provided for you right now. If you're a serious artist looking to perfect your craft, get your music out there in front of millions and millions of views, then look no further than right here. Hip Hop News, Uncensored, Raw Hip Hop News, and the Uncensored True podcasts are now running specials to promote your product. If you're serious about promoting your product on YouTube, email me right here at dlsmediainc1@gmail.com or my brother OGod at hiphopun.com for further information. If you're serious about your craft, very affordable pricing. Let's go. Wait no further. Look into it right now. Emails in the description box. Hit us up. You already know.
Pretty much with her, with a leg up, talking about if different men came over after having intercourse with different men, how Puerto Rican will wash their vagina, how Haitian and how Mexican, like different ways they'll wash their vagina. And it appeared that she dropped a response to that, pretty much saying like, I never claimed to be an angel, I do what the fuck I want. Now, first of all, let's start off, like, the video, to me, we already spoke about it, but to reiterate it for the people who didn't see that, I think it was, it's sad to see, just being all the stereotypes that we got to go through to see that video, even though it was 3 years ago and whatnot. We argued about, her being in a different space, but she kind of like threw the bus at, your statement, like, you did a very good job of defending her. She said, fuck it, I do what the fuck I want. I never claimed to be an angel. So, Cardi B, man. First, let's start here, though. Is it okay for a woman to be a hoe? And then go from there. But I'll turn it over to you.
I think that's a question that every woman should just ask themselves. I don't think it's fair as a man to say what a hoe is or what a hoe isn't. I know that I'm not comfortable as a man. Wouldn't be comfortable as a man knowing that my woman slept with a lot of men. Back to back in a day. Like, okay, so in reference to the conversation, she did this kind of if she just fucked a dude, he left, another dude's coming through, you gotta wash up real quick, you ain't got the time to take a shower. Ways to do that. So, I mean, that's in your definition of a hoe, what she was doing. I mean, it's called Hoe Chronicles, so they obviously paint the picture that this is what hoes do. You asked it if that's acceptable. I personally don't think it's acceptable for a woman to be a hoe. And then I know that there's a double standard out there that they say that, okay, well, it's okay for a man to be a hoe, but it's not okay for a woman to be a hoe, and that could be debated. It could be debated for sure. But I don't think that any man or any woman wants to be involved with anybody that is associated with a hoe. But in regards to the conversation with a woman, I don't think any woman would ever want to be respectfully regarded as someone that has knowingly had multiple dicks on them. I'm just, not multiple, that's not a fair. A dumbass numerous amount of dicks. Like, I got one dick leaving, another dick coming through, and I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah, it's on some shit like, it's like, this is a job, like, yo, like, this is a trick. Like, you tricking, all right, the trick coming through, boom, 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 boom. I ain't got enough time to wash up. Like, it is not even like, you know what I mean? I got to just clean it out for the next trick to come through or whatever. So it's just like, it is real, though. This is uncensored, and it is real. These type of things do go on. I'm not saying that Cardi ever done that. We don't know if she ever had, like, multiple cats or whatever, back to back. But, yeah. But, it does happen, out there. So, her response, though, what do you think about her response saying, like, whatever, like, fuck it?
I think it just goes to what I said on the podcast, and we'll check that out later on once we drop that. The initial premise to what I was getting to was she is who she is. It is what it is. Back then, 3 years ago, when this content was dropped, and we dropped that exclusively as you were giving your one-two on what you felt about the content that you saw, I let you know that it was 3 years ago that this was done, and now it's just recently being dropped, and what we felt about that, and it was an electric episode. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. But she is who she is, man. She is who she is. She's not apologizing for it. I don't think that anybody out there who has young daughters and they like Cardi B, they shouldn't be having her be a role model to her and them. And I don't think that she's out here trying to portray that. You know what I mean? I don't think that she's out here saying that she's a role model as much as she's adversely affecting. Let me get to this real quick and I'll let you run. As much as she's adversely affecting the youth right now, as though she may not see it, she isn't out here trying to be a role model. So it's up to us to kind of just sanction what we got.
Well, see, the thing is, though, like, I kind of noticing this, and I don't know if your daughter does, but, every kid that I see, every time the shit come on the radio to Cardi, song come on the radio. What's the shit that they remixed on the radio now? The Cardi B song. We'll get it. I like it like that.
Yeah.
Is it Carlos Santana? I think maybe Carlos. Let's remix it. Bad Bunny. The Puerto Rican cats on there, and everybody. It's a catchy song, so all the kids are singing it, and everybody loves Cardi. Like, she's like a character, in a good way. Like Cardi B, this character, a doll, a caricature, and all the kids love her. They're singing her lyrics, and so she is, whether she likes it or not. You can't escape that. She's going to influence people. Period. It just is what it is. Now it's up to the parents to make sure that they never hear that, obviously. And it's kind of hard because you hear it, you in Walmart, wherever, you want to hear the song. But it is up to the parents that they see that and know the difference and say, okay, she said this, but this is wrong. And this is what your mother and father, this is right. I agree with you on that. That's 100 on that. But she's going to influence a lot of people. And a lot of people, let's keep it a buck, don't even have that type of influence. Especially in the communities that our people come from and we come from. A lot of people don't have, even both parents in the home and that stability, or even a time to shelter them from being influenced from people like Cardi and Nicki and people like that with their message that they put out there. Well, regardless of what we say, we can break it down. We can talk all we want to talk about, how they sound on interviews and all that. But when you break it down to the music, the part that's influential, we can get into that conversation and see what they really saying. It's going to be ugly.
Is there responsibility that comes with the money? Oh God, is there? Because what she said on Twitter, she is who she is. She's gonna do whatever the fuck she wants. Is that a cop out? Because it's this person. I know that she's it's funny because she's from the Bronx, right? I believe.
Yeah.
So is my son's mom. And this sounds like something my son's mom would say. And I got nothing but love for my son's mom. I do. But when she said it, I could hear how it was said. I know that she meant that. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. She meant that shit. And it's like, but Cardi B,
shit like a dude, right?
Is that a cop out? Because this is 2018, man. And parents could do anything that they possibly can to sanction their kids, but we gotta send our children to school. Our kids are outside playing. You know what I mean? We could do whatever we want with our young, the ones that aren't accepted or out here, you know what I mean, at the whims of everything else. But our kids listen to music. It's gonna happen. So the parents can only do but so much once they're under their vision. They could tell them not to watch or listen or whatever,
right,
but they're gonna do what they do. So does Cardi B have more of a responsibility, especially with the wealth and the popularity that comes behind her and the support that comes behind her, to do more and do better and give us better than I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna do whatever I want? Absolutely.
And she's younger. You know what I mean? And you kind of expect that for somebody. Not to say that a lot of women in that age are mature, but she comes from an area, from a certain environment, where people are molded a certain way, so they might have a certain. Don't mean that she can't grow out of that, and grow into an even better woman than she is today. That may be very possible, But it's just like definitely a responsibility. Definitely a huge responsibility, and here's more evidence to that. When you see people like who may have started out one way, even like gangster rappers, your Snoops and whoever, your Ice Cubes and even your Jay-Z, we can go all the way down the line. Even females, Beyonce now and Jay-Z with they're promoting like the relationship type thing, the marriage type thing. You see that everybody kind of say, oh, I was kind of young and dumb then, so now, I did a lot of bad, now I want to kind of reverse it and do good now. And so they might even change their lyrics or, whatever. So it's like, I think that eventually when you grow mature enough, and age don't all, because somebody might be 25 or 30, don't mean they're fully mature adult.
Hell no.
So it's just like, she may reach a point when she say, you know what, I'm gonna do this differently, and she may feel different about. She may not make this statement, 5 or 10 years down the road. It may be a totally different statement she may make. So, I was kind of dumb then for saying that. You know what I mean? So, we got to give her time. She's like 25, 26 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
And living right in front of us. I mean, she went from where she was from to right here, having everything at her fingertips, world at her fingertips, everyone loving her. She's living and growing right in front of us, and for us to sit there and automatically judge without seeing this woman's proper growth wouldn't be fair. In the moment, though, we do have to acknowledge and understand that she does have a responsibility. She has to say more than I don't give a fuck. And hopefully she will acknowledge it. I believe, like you said, in 10 years, she'll go back and go, yeah, now that was kind of crazy of me. I know I got to do better. You know what I mean? I definitely agree with that. It was a dope show, man, and I think that we got something going right now. This is the post show. We'll drop that, you know what I mean? Once we drop the podcast, this will be the post show to the podcast. What were some highlights of the podcast, man, that you want to talk about real quick? What are some things that stick out in your head when you think about what we just did?
I mean, you know, I want to, kind of keep it, we was talking about, like, with the strippers, like, because we all know people, like, and when you look at the rappers all across the board, they have ex-drug dealer, ex-stripper, you know what I mean, whatever. That's kind of like the thing, because we come from, a lot of us that come up in the hip-hop game, it seems like it's a lot of talent in these, impoverished cities. So the record labels are getting all the talent, Cardi B from the Bronx, this person from Brooklyn, this person from this part of Jersey, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of talent in the inner cities and whatnot. So, what I want to kind of ask you is, does it, like, just because Cardi was a stripper or somebody might be like a drug dealer, you know what I mean? Should we be even expecting more from them? 'Cause, I mean, that's what they were in the street, drug dealer, stripper. And I ain't say. I also want to say this: just because somebody was a stripper or a drug dealer, don't mean that we should throw them away. They should be banished from society. But it just is what it is at the time. It just, the way the society looks at it is looked down upon. So what do you think about? Should we expect anything higher? Because they could have easily, didn't strip and, started her own business. Yeah. Or he could have easily didn't sell drugs and started a landscaping company. Or she could have been with the people, whatever they do the nails or the hair. Or she could become a hairstylist. So, 'cause I got cousins that did that. So, talk about that whole dynamic. So we expect more from these people.
I don't know if we should expect more, but I definitely say that they should expect more for themselves. As we evolve, we aspire to do better so that we could get out of the situation that we were previously in. These people didn't sell drugs. Cardi B didn't strip. You don't see people out here doing this because they want to. It's a way and a means to get out of a situation that they're in. So if there is no evolution once that's gained, then what the fuck are you doing it for? What are you really doing it for to begin with? And I think a lot of people, because you alluded to it, a lot of talent comes out of these inner cities, a lot of the hardship, a lot of the former drug dealers. We should not throw them away. There's gems, there's diamonds in all those roughs. They shouldn't be thrown away, but they should kind of take a personal responsibility to go, okay, now that I've worked so hard to get out of that fucked up situation I'm in, I now have to change my paradigm and shift it in a direction that no longer ever goes back to that. That means my attitude, that may be how I talk, that may be, and I'm not saying I keep it real to yourself. I mean, you just have to find that way to evolve. You don't want to have anything in your subconscious to bring you and drag you back there. And I think a lot of our youth and things don't really understand that concept of getting rid of all of it, because you always find ways to drag yourself back in. And I think this is one of the unfortunate situations Cardi finds herself in, and a lot of other people do.
Yeah, now another highlight you want to talk about the podcast. I'll say the Jamil Hill, Charlamagne and God, situation where I ain't really hear what you had to say too much on that. How you feel about that situation? How you feel about that? Charlamagne coming out saying what he said and what he said.
I think it's great. I think it's a great segue to the gray area that he comes out with on HBO. I think these are a lot of the issues that he's going to highlight on his show coming out real soon. I don't know the exact date when that's coming out, but it should definitely be dropping soon. I think these are issues that he will tackle. I think this is nothing less than what he talks about on a Breakfast Club. If you hear his dialect and how he talks, he's very vocal. He's not afraid to tackle the hard issues. He's not afraid to tackle the gray area. He just went through a whole bunch of shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? That he went through, and it got a lot of attention. You brought it on firsthand and didn't think it was going to get as much attention as it did, but it ended up getting it. He had to acknowledge it. He had to talk about it. He dealt with it, but he was, it shook him. And a lot of the questions that I raised after the event was, is he still going to be open and honest and still be the Charlamagne that we all knew to grow and respect and grew to hate?
Shit,
You know what I mean? Would he be hesitant? And it doesn't seem like he's really kind of he's still Charlamagne, which is dope. He's still staying true to his word, still staying true to he is. In regards to Jamel being fired, let me hit this J real quick.
Yes, sir.
In regards to Jamel being fired, I don't think it was a surprise. I don't even know if she was fired. It may be an end of a contract situation. I know on the podcast I said she was fired. I don't know if I was 100% correct on that. But needless to say, she's done in September August 31st, he's getting a $2.5 million buyout, which I think is super dope. You take your money, you keep it going. I don't think either side of the situation is really upset about it. I think Charlamagne hit it right on the fucking head. You got a lot of good old boys that, even though they may not claim to be racist, out on the forefront, you running away from certain issues, you kind of not ignoring certain topics that are involved with life, and you just kind of using the excuse of we're just gonna deal with sports and do that. Thanks. It's a real fucking poor excuse, and this is another poor way to be racist, because you're ignoring a situation. It almost goes to, and I'm gonna take it here, the police.
Bombs, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you have a lot of good cops out here, right? But my question to a lot of the good cops out here is, why don't you speak up against the bad cops? Because you're under this code of bullshit to protect and serve you, not protect and serve humanity. You protect and serve you, but we're not you. And once you put on that blue uniform, you're no longer us. And it's a shame, because you draw that line.
Yep.
And there's a lot of good ones out here that want to do good, but when you see the negativity, when you see the injustice going on right in front of us, because we're 2018, we see it all, and you don't say anything, you're just as wrong. And I think the same goes hand in hand.
Then they'll never cross that thin blue line. That's one thing you got to know. The police, and I'm not, encouraging anybody to do anything stupid. You should always use precaution,
right?
Dealing with the police. But our historic relationship, with the police, has been one of a lot of tension, a lot of bloodshed. Because if you go back to the inception, if you got an institution that was kind of built, not kind of, but was built from pretty much keeping slaves in check, pretty much going around making, searching slaves randomly, doing what the shit police do now, but only the slaves. They kind of never ever seen you different, and it don't matter if it's a black, white, whatever type of cop, they're blue when they put that uniform on, and they're taught to never to trust you. Any of them will tell you that. So it's just like, these are this problem that's in, all over the world, but specifically in America, and this is what we deal with on the Uncensored Truth podcast. So definitely.
Hold on, we're recording, man. What's that?
Lemon Vegas.
All right, word. In here? Okay. You got stuff to spray too?
Who, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I'll be scared.
I got you.
All right.
Yeah. No doubt. Gotta watch the police. That's crazy how we was talking about the police.
She
you know what I'm saying? And let's talk about, it's time that I may have been blown to J. And police pull up behind me. And it's I know the procedure so much now. It was just like, I gotta get rid of the J or whatever I gotta do. I know what they're gonna do. And I know what length they're gonna go to look for some marijuana. Now I know the laws and all that, and that's a whole nother thing, the whole marijuana issue. But they kind of use that for other, to get the permission to actually search and go through your shit. And I think that's bullshit. So the police, man, I never trust them. And from my experience dealing with police, I would say what you said. Like when we talk about like the NFL and these different companies, it's a poor excuse for them not to deal with this, because you told me a story about being at this very residence here, and maybe a registration or something. You know what I mean? Like, they have too much power and authority, over people, I think. Now, they are needed in certain cases, but it should be the right people in the right neighborhoods at the right times, period. It got to go all the way down, to that, I think. And even probably even deeper to a whole overhaul how to even police people, so-called. That might have to be changed in order for us to start seeing some results, with this whole police brutality thing, because they got way too much gray area where they can pretty much kill you and get away with it.
It's gray area everywhere.
Too much.
They got gray area to fire off on us. I mean, the list goes on and on.
But look, not to cut you off.
No, you good,
let's
bro.
talk about the relationship, right? And this is when this is coming back when I did a debate against a former police officer, a Chicago police officer, retired.
Okay.
And we were talking about the Eric Garner situation where the cop choked him out. You know what I'm saying? And we had a good debate. I smashed him. He was pretty much saying it was lawful what they did, and I had to prove that it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I wanted to ask you is like, what do you feel about the relationship between the police officer and the prosecutor? Because this was a point that I brought up in every case. It's like pretty much they got a real good relationship, the police and the prosecutor, very good relationship, to where it's like they pretty much got the fate. So if you get into a situation where it's their word against yours, I'm cool with you. We working together all the time, me and you. I'm handing you different shit, you giving me, you know what I mean? Now we got to go against this guy who's saying, I did this. I ain't listening to this motherfucker. What do you think about that relationship, the prosecutor and the police?
It's a fixed game. It's a fixed game. And
Right.
and then you ask yourself, well, who's the pawn?
Whew.
And then you go back to the 13th, 14th Amendment, then you
Damn.
find out in this chess game that we're all in who the pawn is. And it's not surprising. It's very simple. You got, like I said, if somebody out here, if me and somebody got into a disagreement and you had money stolen, I could have took that money, but you're going to take my word over his because me and you are boys. You ain't even going to give a fuck. Mm-hmm. Or if I put it another way, not even to deceive you. If somebody out there was murdered and I did it and I told you I didn't, you going to believe it.
Yep.
Or even if you knew I did it, you're going to ignore it.
Yep.
Because I'm your boy. And this is like, nah.
I can sweep this one under the rug.
I can sweep this one under the rug. So think about that kind of power. Now, if anybody knows, you've been in the traffic court, anybody got a ticket, before you see the judge, you got to see the prosecutor. They tell you what you did, and they're going to write up what you're going to get. You're either going to, you know what I mean, take the points, or you're going to do this, pay the surcharge, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they hand that to the judge, and the judge gives you your thing. So that's the fucking gatekeeper,
Right.
to your fucking life.
Right.
And think about that dude having a relationship with you, whether he fucked up or not. He could have whipped your ass, whatever. And then it's not surprising. But we ignore that situation. We throw that under the rug because a lot of people, racism is a very uncomfortable topic.
Right.
What was done to blacks historically for 400 years during slavery is a very uncomfortable conversation.
Yes, sir.
A very uncomfortable conversation for even a lot of white folk, good white people who do care, to have, because they don't want to think or be associated with an image of hate to that regard. But what a lot of those good people need to understand is they need to sit there and listen and be on the forefront, and then also acknowledge the fact that this is absolutely wrong. And we as people, black people, we need to unify and stop worried about them white folk doing what they got to do, because we need to do a lot of work on our side. We got to unify more. Self-hate is at an all-time high. This violence is at an all-time high, but entrepreneurship and CEOs and businesses are also at an all-time high. So we got to see and work our way toward that other side of the gray area and really start making this shit work if we're going to see a different result for our kids, man.
Yes,
real
sir.
rough.
It's going to take, people, listening to brothers like us and other brothers actually doing it, out here, it's making success in business, knows kind of the social media game. Because if you're doing anything in business now, you'll be foolish not to be on social media and learning not only to get on these outlets, but how to effectively communicate your message to who you want to potentially be your consumer, i.e., whatever, subscriber, whatever they call them on any platform. Mm-hmm. It's a relationship that's built, with that. And what we do the media thing, so it only makes sense, that when people want to get their news, then we got to be the person that supplies it to them. Just like no different than we always joke and say, man, we could have a big dope in our weed empire out here. We could have so many niggas working for us, like that. But we say, no, we're going to be smart, because we ain't trying to do no Fed time and all that type of shit. Because the way we're going to do a Fed time numbers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's just like, we said, we're going to learn this internet, just social media. That's when we was talking about the whole Vlad shit. Another point on the podcast is like, yo, dog, not to say that it's a necessarily competition, but it is what it is. We all clustered together on YouTube. It's just like, but I know I can do this. I know that you can do this, and we doing it right now. We already doing it.
Content machine.
Right. So it's just like, we can do all that stuff. Why can't we do it? So we put ourselves in a position to beat that. It's not easy. I salute people who, one person or a few people doing that. I mean, he built a team, but it started off with him first. To do that is a major task, as we see in the media game. So it is a little bit of respect, in that respect. When you asked me earlier, do I respect him? You know what I mean? I do respect, his grind and hustle, to get to where he got, with his business.
And I don't think it was ever a sense of disrespect when it comes to you. I think it's more so competition. That's competition.
Right.
So you ain't never gonna give competition that much due respect, because you trying to take his head off. You trying to go for the top. And that's understandable. That doesn't mean that competitors don't have a mutual respect, but you ain't hear Ali and Frazier talking about, oh, I respect that man. Nah,
right.
Motherfucker, I'm trying to take your head off.
Right.
You ain't hear Jordan and Isaiah Thomas talking about, oh, I respect that man. Now that they sitting down and they retired and they can look back on their legacy, of course they respected it. But in the game, during the battle, fuck that. I'm trying to take your head off. So in that regard, I think that that's a little more the situation. We're competitors too. And
right.
I was egging those guys.
Nah, it's all good. Nah.
Too, you know what I mean?
That shit's straight.
We're competitors.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to the top. And I think that's and
it's just what it is, dog. It's like, when it's like a story come out, you know what I'm saying? Even us, it's like you got your different platforms. You put your story up. You want your story to be better than the next. You want your shit to get more hits. That's just what it is. Now, if it don't, it's cool that, all right, then he got me this time. And, but the website game is a whole nother thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's more long term. Like, all right, we want your story to rank here. So, yeah, you're building, for the long term. So that's what he did with his company. You know what I mean? He built it for the long stretch. A lot of people, and we talked about them, they didn't build for the long. They was in it for the moment. What they thought that they would just be able to be hot with their names, not realizing that, you have to master the other aspects of this business as well, not just one. That's what the Vlads and the complexes and the other people did. They mastered every aspect of the business, not just the DVD game or the YouTube game. They mastered this. That's why they at what they at today.
And not to be cocky, but it's like when you look at us, right? You got two platforms, Val Hip Hop News Uncensored. Obviously, Hip Hop News Uncensored being the mecca of the two platforms, and now the Uncensored Truth podcast coming and gaining steam by the minute.
Yes,
it's a testament to what we got going on, because we both had to learn every aspect of this game and be great at every aspect of this game to do the numbers that we're at right now in a little over a year. It's crazy. And not to be cocky, but the numbers don't lie.
Right.
The numbers don't lie. So it took that dedication. It took the nonstop. You see how we dress right now. We ain't the flyest, coming off of doing whatever, taking care of business, taking care of business, sleepless nights, early mornings, taking care of our absolute business to make sure that we the best that we do. And we're going to keep continuing to bring that nonstop great content. We record it before we got on set. We record after we get on set. We're going to record it tomorrow. We're going to be editing up. We're a one-stop shop. And it takes that dedication, that sacrifice to be great, man. And we ain't gonna stop.
You're seeing this, though, if anybody's seeing this, you got an artist out there, you say, you know what, I'm going to go sit down with these brothers. I'm going to go talk to these brothers, you know what I mean? Because if y'all want to be and the thing is, like, we're not trying to, we're building our own, we're forging our own lane, but there's certain things in this industry that everybody's doing, that has to do. You know what I mean? You have to do, but everybody has a niche. So we're carving out our niche. So the reason I'm saying that is, any artist you want to come down and sit down with, that's another, aspect of this that we're going to do. Is start to sit down and do like in-depth interviews with people and ask them questions that nobody probably going to ever ask. We already know how we're going to get down with it. So it's going to be a lot of real dope interviews. So, if you want to do that, make sure you get at us and let us know. Send the artist our way, because we want to definitely start doing that real soon.
Facts.
Real talk.
We got promo packages for your music.
Yeah.
That's in the description box. Send us an email. Those links in the description box.
Right.
If you're serious about promoting your product. We had a conversation earlier on. That'll be dropped. Check the playlist on the Uncensored Truth podcast. You'll see all the content. Non-stop content. But we're not playing over here. You know what I mean? Creating your own advertisements, creating your own brand. We have our own merchandising, Raw Hip Hop News hats. Now that's also in the description box. You go and purchase yours now. Those are selling fast. We'll start having some giveaways and stuff, thanking the people for all the support, because we got a ton of support. We're going live on Friday night, starting this Friday. Was it this Friday?
This Friday.
It's this Friday. We're coming live, hot.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We're going to tear shit up. I think that's going to be on Hip Hop News. Pause. That'll be... Nigga got me. That'll be fucking live on Hip Hop News.
It was hard, like, coming live hot. I'm like, oh shit. We'll edit this shit out.
It's cool. Nah, we're going to keep all this shit.
Yeah, fuck it.
Live on Hip Hop News Uncensored, I think we're going to go live on, right?
Yeah. We're going to rock out with that one.
Should be fucking electric.
But we got something planned, though. We're going to have other podcasts. You know what I mean? We're not sure we're going to position them yet, but we're going to have other podcasts with other names, on different platforms. So it's going to be crazy.
It's crazy. When you got platforms with over 100,000 strong, numerous, you know what I mean?
Right,
Between us, it's inevitable to start really tearing shit up out here, and we're gonna start doing that, man. We're not, like I said, we're not gonna be cocky. We're not gonna give away too much information, but it doesn't matter, because if you're not gonna follow it up with the work ethic, the blueprint could be right there. You still gotta fucking apply it and still gotta master it.
Yep.
You could have the fucking blueprint to a house, the biggest mansion in the world. You still gotta build that bitch. So you know what I mean? It's clear what we're doing, and we just gonna keep killing y'all with content. We appreciate all y'all support, trying to keep it as real as we possibly fucking can. I mean, we love y'all, man.
So we gotta start giving. Next time we come on, we'll start giving y'all personal social medias and all that. And they want to follow us personally, so we'll get that together. I mean, next time. But yeah, man, it's your boy Old God saying, man, we out of here. Peace.
Do me a favor, family. Hit the link in the description box. Purchase your very own new era viral hip hop news hat. Like I said, the link will be in the description box right now. Don't wait. Don't miss out. Grab the hottest thing popping right now, the viral hip hop news hats, available in the link in the description box. Grab yours right now.